was in a hugely stressful job. I used to procure fresh produce, for the whole of the Northwest, and I got quite stressed. I was working up to 60 hours a week, needed an outlet, found Bridge Community Farms online, came down and I was hooked. We're a community farm. We provide a therapeutic environment for adults with learning difficulties, the long-term unemployed, people with a wide range of mental health issues. When people tend to walk through the gates of Bridge, the feedback that I get is that everyone is treated exactly the same, and there's a sense of calm when people arrive. And I really think people need that in their lives. Everybody leads such stressful lives, or they may have these issues, and as soon as they come here, we're just another family. To see people that didn't talk very much and were quite insular at the start of their journey with Bridge Community Farms, to put them in an environment, a group environment, and to watch them come out of the shell, to talk to people they would never talk to, or people that they didn't think were accessible to them. It's just a wonder, it really is. These people learn so much from what we grow and the information that we give them. We even give them recipe sheets to take back and learn how to cook. You know, they're learning to eat healthy, fresh produce instead of packets all the time, and it's just great. I really do think they enjoy it, and if they didn't, they wouldn't come back week after week after week. The biggest thing they give to us is their time. We get donations of money and all sorts, but the biggest donation anyone ever gives to us is their time. I'm exceptionally proud, as I should be. It's a fantastic place. All the members of staff are proud to work here, and I think the volunteers are proud to say that they're a part of it. When they see seeds going into the ground that they've bought on from nothing, and then to harvest them and then to eat them as well, they are really proud of the work that they do.
The Friends group at Angela Marbury work with the rangers. We help maintain Northwich Woodlands, but in addition to that, we also organise our own projects and we organise our own events. The combination of the work we do with the rangers and the skills they have and the skills we have together allow us to do things that neither group could do on their own. I think certainly I've learned an enormous amount about wildlife and about plants and flowers that I didn't know anything about before. The skills that the rangers have got are quite different to the skills that people out in the normal community have, and so we can learn a lot from them and they can learn a lot from us as well. I think the work we do actually wouldn't be done. A lot of the work wouldn't get done. Some of the routine maintenance would still have to be done, but the project work that we do, which enhances the park for the future, would certainly not get done unless there was a Friends group here. I think it's really important that we do encourage people to come into the park, both from the point of view of helping to police it, because if people come in, it helps reduce vandalism, and so the park can to some extent look after itself. But also it provides a fantastic opportunity for people to do healthy activities, which ultimately reduces the burden on the health service. So in a number of ways it's actually beneficial for the health of the community.
Every week somebody comes down to the station to tidy it up, do anything it needs doing, report any faults to the train companies. It's in a bit of a hollow here with rhododendrons on one side, station buildings on the other, and it was all too easy for it to become a little bit of a dumping ground and look rather sad, and people certainly complained to the parish council that they didn't like using the station in the evenings because it felt a bit neglected. So we thought seeing some of us around tidying things up and planting things might help people to feel more positive about the station.
Just a little bit of attention once a week makes a big difference. The alternative is that you get rubbish piling up, and where you get rubbish piling up, more people will add to it. So if it looks cared for, it stays cared for.
Communities recognise their own needs. People from outside often don't know what a community needs, whereas the community itself probably does know. And volunteers can identify that and help to make it happen.
We do get messages of appreciation, sometimes quite unsolicited, and we get the Cheshire Best Kept Station competition, which we have won on occasions, so we do get a bit of feedback.
We've had, I think, 3 Best Kept Station awards as a whole, the tidiest station, the most improved station, and we've done quite well really. We still keep going though. Hopefully more people will use the trains, because stations are vital to communities, and if they're not used and neglected, then the railway companies could decide to withdraw a service, and that would be a tremendous loss.
We were talking about entering the Cheshire Best Kept Village competition, and I made the mistake of standing up at a meeting and saying, well, Parkgate really needs work, and one of the ward councillors said, well, why don't you organise something? And I suddenly find myself 18 months later in charge of 40 volunteers going around litter picking, cutting back shrubbery that's overgrown over pavements, and trying to keep the place a lot tidier and cleaner. Yes, it gets us out in all weathers. We get plenty of fresh air, plenty of exercise, and you meet lots of people, and it's amazing when you're walking along the bottom of the seawall picking litter, the number of people who stop and ask you what you're doing, and you can talk to them and get some of them enthused that when they go home they might set up another group themselves. We've just developed not only a community spirit, but we've developed friendship, because lots of people, particularly older people who've started to join us, they make new friends, and people who've moved into the area make new friends. That really is tremendous. We're not only developed with the older community, but we're now developing it with the school children. We've got a way into the school. The head teacher's very supportive, and it's helping the children to learn about keeping their local community clean and tidy.
Well, the Transition Initiative is all about helping make Frodsham stronger and resilient and a happier place to live, and it's part of the National Transition Network. Part of helping Frodsham to become resilient is improving community spirit really, and helping to get projects off the ground that local people want to do.
I've been involved with planting trees in Frodsham for nearly 40 years, and we started on an estate which had been recently built without any trees whatsoever. I think it's magnificent that Frodsham now has 4 orchards, and if it wasn't for Frodsham Transition Initiative, we wouldn't have had any community orchards. It's interesting to see the children in particular when they see apples on trees, where before they've only seen them in supermarkets.
Friends of Westminster Park are an umbrella organisation for the 10 clubs, organisations which are based here in the park. It's part of our sort of civic pride, if you like. We want to have an attractive park which is enjoyed by all the residents. And a lot of us have joined the individual sporting clubs, but we also like to have a pleasant and attractive environment, and we want to do our little bit to help keep it clean and tidy. Since we were formed in 2001, we, in conjunction with the council, have raised about £1 million, which has been spent on improving and upgrading the facilities that we now have. Well, yes, it helps to increase people's sense of sort of pride in the local park, in the local facilities. And there's another aspect to it as well, that the council owns and operates the park, and it can't possibly know what are the main sources of interest of the people living around. And we act as a sort of a channel of communication, if you like. Today we were involved in planting some bulbs, and I just know for sure that when they start to come through and come into flower in the spring of next year, a lot of the members of the community around, the people who walk through the park, who bring their dogs to the park, bring their children to the park, they will actually look at those flowers and they will comment, doesn't that look nice? And that's a very rewarding sort of comment to hear from people.
Volunteer for Turning Point. It's to raise awareness and to help with drug and alcohol issues, people with addiction problems really, so get them out in the countryside working as a team and to give them some self-worth really. And I suppose I had issues with drug and alcohol, and Turning Point helped me a lot, and I just wanted to give back to the community really. Down here we're trying to clear up the Caldy Valley Nature Park. We've been coming down here for quite a while now. We've been coppicing and getting rid of some of the old bulrush, to let new growth come through for the spring. We get a lot of self-pleasure. I mean, I suppose while you're in addiction you don't think a lot of yourself, so helping and doing this and clearing up countryside and having people walk past and saying what a great job you're doing, it just means everything really.
I've just graduated from university, from Bangor University, and it's just basically to get more experience, because I've got a degree in zoology and conservation, but that's kind of not enough now. It's just getting the practical work and the experience that kind of university doesn't really give you. And it's also working with people. It's lovely working with like all the other volunteers and just getting to know people. A lot of the reserves we work on is quite public. So not only do we achieve like habitat management for wildlife and the environment around us, but also it helps like the local community as well. When people see us out and about volunteering, we get a lot of people asking us like what we do, and hopefully that makes people come and want to volunteer or like just help out a little bit. And so yeah, I think it inspires people sometimes. It's quite a sense of achievement really. It's like, oh, you don't have a before picture and an after picture. It's like, I've done that, we've all worked together to achieve this. It's something really quite amazing.